Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Guys, in a fair and rational world, the election would end today. It should be over. Firstly, we learned, thanks to CBP and ICE, that the Biden administration essentially allowed nearly 500,000 known criminals into the country, just release them into your neighborhoods. And that's a real story, by the way. I recorded a video on that this morning. That, of course, alone should be enough to settle this election. That should be disqualifying for the Democrats. But not only do we get that this morning, we also get a Trump-Zelensky press conference. I'll be the first to tell you I was surprised by this. I didn't see it on the schedule, but it happened, and in an unbelievable turn of events, Trump and Zelensky stand shoulder by shoulder in front of the camera, talking openly to the American press and the American people about finally bringing an end to the war by means of negotiation. In other words, Donald Trump's not even president, but he's doing more than the current administration and the current president of the United States to bring global peace. And to make it even better, he's actually successfully getting people to the table. Friends, just my opinion, might be the title of the video, might not be, but it's just what's on my mind. This right here should seal the deal. In a fair and rational world, today should be the day where Donald Trump won the general election to become the 47th president of the United States. The Donald manages to do it again. Let's have a conversation about that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so without further ado, just take a look at this.
Strongest of our soldiers, our people, of course, it will bring us closer to the peace. We need just peace. We need just peace. It's so important to have just peace for the people, especially for the families who lost their children. It's a big tragedy.
President Trump, have you changed your thoughts on how this war should end, what you think should be done, or do you still stand by some of the previous statements?
Well, I learned a lot, but I think I haven't changed from the standpoint that we both want to see this end, and we both want to see a fair deal made, and it's got to be fair, and I think that'll happen at the right time. I think it's going to happen. The president wants it to end, and he wants it to end as quickly as possible. He wants a fair transaction to take place, and I think right now I'm campaigning, so right now I don't have much to do with it other than we're doing very well in terms of the campaign, and I've been saying that I believe if I win, we're going to have a very fair and I think actually rather rapid deal. It should stop, and the president wants it to stop, and I'm sure President Putin wants it to stop. And that's a good combination. So we want to have a fair deal for everybody.
What do you envision as fair?
Well, it's too early to say that. I mean, I have my own ideas, and I'm sure the president definitely has his own ideas, but it has to be fair.
This war shouldn't be started, and I think that the problem that Putin killed so many people, and of course we need to do everything to pressure him to stop this war, and he's on our territory. That is the most important to understand. He's on our territory, and how to stop the war, to pressure him as we can, as we can. We have to do it.
And do you think the U.S. is the best?
The U.S. is the leader. U.S. is the leader of support. U.S. is the leader in the world, and of course we value the support of the United States. We're thankful to the United States, the people of America, and of course we understand that United States can be the leader through any negotiation. You know that we have the peace summit, and we want to organize the second one, and we count on this.
I know you're both in a rush. Last question. Will there be another meeting in the near future between you?
Could very well happen, but I think the president said it the best. This is a war that should have never happened. It should have never happened, and it wouldn't have happened.
I'm floored, I'm flabbergasted, but most importantly, I'm feeling hope. And that right there, I think, is what a lot of people are looking for. The world's plunged into chaos over the last 4 years. Riots, the pandemic, global warfare, economic crisis. People are looking for change. They're looking for hope. And that clip right over there, that's exactly what it gives me. This press conference with Zelensky, in my view, is honestly something that we've been waiting for. Finally, a politician talking about real peace. I mean, seeing Zelensky actually come to the table for discussions on ending the war in Ukraine feels like a breath of fresh air. It's not every day you see a leader actually trying to push for diplomacy instead of more conflict. And Trump is proving yet again that he's not just another warmonger. And that's something that, frankly, you just don't really get to see. Donald Trump's meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky and getting the Ukrainian president to essentially state that he's open to discussions and negotiations. Meanwhile, the Democrats are signing bombs in Pennsylvania. The contrast could not be clearer. And let's also not forget the previous peace talks got blocked. We all remember Biden and Boris Johnson reportedly shutting them down, keeping the war going on. Meanwhile, Trump's here doing the exact opposite, working towards de-escalating the situation and bringing both sides together. That's huge. And it's exactly what we need, a leader who actually cares about ending pointless wars instead of making them worse. And again, it highlights Trump's authenticity. When he says something, when he stands for something, he actually means it. When he was asked that famous question back, I believe, in either late 2023 or early 2024, and he said this,
"Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?"
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying.
He actually meant it, and now he's doing significant work to bring both sides to the table. In my view, in 2024, in this election, endless, needless conflict is on the ballot. There's the side of by any means necessary, whatever it takes.
There are some in my country who would instead force Ukraine to give up large parts of its sovereign territory, who would demand that Ukraine accept neutrality and would require Ukraine to forego security relationships with other nations. These proposals are the same of those of Putin. And let us be clear, they are not proposals for peace. Instead, they are proposals for surrender, which is dangerous and unacceptable. So, President Zelensky, I look forward to our discussion today, and I will continue to work with you to ensure Ukraine prevails in this conflict and remains a free, democratic, and independent nation.
And then, of course, there's the side of, I want people to stop dying. I don't know about you guys, but I appreciate the Trump side. The Kamala side, I mean, it sounds good. It sounds all heroic and amazing. But honestly, to me, it feels more callous than anything else. This by any means necessary approach, what it really means is, however many young Ukrainian and Russian lives it takes to continue to perpetuate this thing endlessly. They just want to keep making bombs and tanks and missiles. That's really the way I view it. It's very easy for Kamala Harris to say this stuff when Americans aren't dying, when it's somebody else's next generation of young men that are essentially being culled. And she frames the situation as if Trump just wants to surrender and allow Vladimir Putin to get everything he wants, but obviously if you listen to the press conference between Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump, that wasn't the stance at all. The reality is that relationships are difficult and complicated. I mean, interpersonal one-on-one relationships are complicated. Now imagine foreign relations, relationships between entire nations. It's very complicated stuff, and there's a long history and a lot of context behind the conflict. And well, if you want to remedy any relationship, what does it require? As we know in our personal lives and our dealings with people and family, sometimes it takes a little bit of sacrifice. Sometimes it takes a willingness to be open and to listen to the other side, to discuss ideas, to find a common solution, to give a little and take a little. That is the only way that this is going to end. And so the way that I view it is the Democrat and even, let's call it deep state warmongering approach. It seems as though that approach is aimed with one goal in mind, and that is to perpetuate this war for as long as possible. It's not about principle. It's not about not surrendering. I don't even think it's about Putin or Russia or the Kremlin. I think it's about endless war. And I think that's why these deep statists present the conflict in this binary fashion, in the most simplistic, black and white, 1 and 0 fashion. It's about emotion. Team A versus Team B. We're Team A. We must destroy Team B at any and all cost. Literally in this case. But what does that do? Who does that benefit? Well, the answer is it benefits no one. The only way to end conflict is to come to the table. Otherwise, the conflict will never end. Essentially, the stance that the Democrats are taking is that they will not stop until Russia is defeated. Well, what's it going to take to defeat Russia? American boots on the ground? Full-on nuclear Armageddon? World War III in Europe? Is it really worth it? I certainly don't think so. It's time to get to the negotiation table, and it's obvious that Trump is the one to get that job done. Anyways, that's it. That's pretty much what I got for you guys on this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.